Same chart, same market. So why are some traders calm while others are full of stress and worry? What do you think is the reason behind it? Most traders think the market creates stress, but the truth might surprise you. And that leads to our today's topic, which is stress and worry. So today we are going to understand about stress and worry and how we can make it work in our favor and how we can identify the right causes behind it and what is the reason this stress and worry comes in the place, or what I can say, it exists in the first place. Okay, so let's begin. All right, so within every worry is an opportunity for positive action. In every lie, there is a kernel of truth. Behind every neurotic symptom is the misdirected desire to live fully and well. These are the words by David K. Reynolds from the Constructive Living. Okay, now let's understand a little bit more in detail. Have you ever wondered what stress is and why you experience it? Most people believe a situation can be stressful. The truth is, stress doesn't exist outside of yourself, and therefore, no situation can be said to be stressful in itself. So, as we started with this hook, right? Same market, same chart, but certain people are calm and certain are under stress. So that means the market information is same for everyone. Still, some people are calm in nature by looking at the same information, by looking at the same piece of information, but some are in really stress. Why exactly it happens? So that means the external environment has nothing to do with this. It's all inside of you, it's all inside the mental environment. Okay, therefore no situation can be said to be stressful in itself. Yet my guess is you experience stress on a regular basis and probably more often than you would like to. Stress alone is responsible for tens of thousands of deaths every year, every freaking year. Stress does more harm than many diseases and leaves countless families grieving the loss of a loved ones. This is why it is essential you take active steps towards reducing your stress levels. Now, taking responsibility for your stress. Stress is something you have some control over and therefore must take responsibility. Stress happens for various reasons and manifests in numerous situations. The traffic jam on your way to work, a business representation, and a business presentation, tensions with your boss, and frequent disputes with your spouse all constitute potential sources of stress. There are two ways you can reduce stress. Now we are talking about the action steps. Let's understand. By avoiding situation you perceive as stressful and by becoming better at dealing with a stressful situation. What are the two things that we can do? Either we can just completely avoid situation we perceive as stressful, and we can become better at dealing with a stressful situation. Either we can stop perceiving it in the first place, or if we are perceiving it, we need to find out better way to tackle with it. Okay, so these are the two methods that author is suggesting here. Well, we will see how you can use these methods to reduce your stress level, how you can use stress to grow. Exercise. Make a list of your major sources of stress. Okay, this is something that you have to do all by yourself. It requires, like, the thing that you are learning here, it is not just simply we have to hear and hear and hear. That will also help because it is helping you to make it part of your belief system, and something can click you at the right spot. But still, if you'll do the exercise along with this, it will be more productive for you. Okay, now let's look at specific regions or situations that are sources of stress for you. Using the workbook, write down what causes the most stress in your typical week. Come up with come up with at least 10 things. Okay, write down 10 things that you feel like causing stress in your life. Okay, now reframing stress. Emotion arise as a result of your interpretation of events. Our perception, our interpretation, right? It plays very vital role when it comes to, you know, making a situation stressful to ourselves. The mere fact your or you experiences stress or any other emotion means you have added your own interpretation to what is happening. Otherwise, you would have a stress-free life. Now, look at your list of stressful situation. For each situation, ask yourself the following question: is that situation stressful in itself? What do I need to believe to experience stress in that specific situation? What would I need to believe to reduce or remove stress in that particular situation? Okay, so you made a list of 10 things that you feel is causing stress in your life. Then you are asking in each of the thing, you're asking yourself these three questions. Is that situation stressful in itself? If the answer is yes, then you get clarity. What we are trying to do is we are trying to find out the core from where this thing is coming out so that we can work on the core and we can, you know, uh, what I can say, remove this problem forever, or like finding a better way to tackle it. What do I need to believe to experience stress in that specific situation? Okay, what would I need to believe to reduce or remove stress in that particular situation? Let's say you're stuck in a traffic jam and you find it stressful. It is one of the very common day-to-day example. Is that situation stressful in itself? No, not necessarily. The traffic jam exists and there is nothing wrong with it per se. What would I need to believe to experience stress in that specific situation? I would need to believe there shouldn't be any traffic jams and therefore something is wrong. Right? The traffic jam is a stressful event in itself. This is something that we are perceiving out of a traffic jam. I should be where I need to go instead of being stuck in traffic. I can do something about it. So these are the things that you are thinking in your mind, and that's what causing stress. Okay, not the external environment, not the traffic jam. Right? What would I need to believe to reduce, remove stress in that particular situation? I would need to believe that a traffic jam is a normal event like anything else. All right. I don't necessarily have to experience stress just because I'm stuck in traffic. I'm here caught in a traffic jam and I don't need to be there wherever I want to go for a while. I can't do anything about it, so I might as well enjoy it or at least don't stress over it. Like, this is not something that you can just completely resolve on your own, right? Traffic jams, it can happen because of n number of reasons. You can try to tackle with it in one way or another if possible, but if you feel like it is something that is out of your hand, you cannot deal with it all alone. So all you have to do is manage your inner environment so that you can deal with it. Okay, so author is suggesting certain ways by which you can deal with it. This is just a common example. Okay, there can be any number of situation that you come across in your day-to-day life and you can deal it with similar ways. All right, now dealing with worry differs from stress as it isn't the result of something you experience in the present but a concern you have regarding events from the past or events that may happen in the future. So stress is something that is related to the perception or interpretation of the current situation that is ongoing in your life. Okay, now stress is one thing that is related to the present moment, but worry is something that is getting place because of the two things, either something that had happened in the past or something that may happen in the future. Now you experience stress when you face a stressful situation in the present moment. For instance, a stressful situation would be being stuck in a traffic jam or having your boss yell at you. Worrying would be remembering past or anticipating imagining these stressful situations future. Interestingly, most of your worries are unnecessary for the following reasons. Now this is very important. That is something that you need to be very clear about. Most of your worries, it is either about past or about future. They are unnecessary in nature. Okay, what are the reasons behind it? Let's understand. Now they happened in the past and there is absolutely nothing you can do about them, and or they may happen in the future and you can't control the future directly, right? You can work on your present and you can better your future, that is one thing, but you cannot directly change or control whatever is going to happen in the future, right? So this is something that has already happened in the past. Again, you don't have any control over it. Something that can happen in the future, again, you don't have complete control in it. Okay, you can work on yourself for the betterment, that is one thing, but you cannot completely control the future, right? So worry is something that is completely futile in nature, is what author is trying to say over here. Now exercise, make a list of your worries as well, like the way you made the list of stress or the stress causing reasons, right? Make a list of things you worry about, past or future. They may be similar to the things you wrote in the previous exercise. Example of things you may worry about are your health, your financial situation, your work, your relationship, and your family, right? Now write at least 10 things you tend to worry about in a typical week, right? So after doing this exercise, what you need to do is sorting out your worries. Constant worry result from trying to control events over which you have no control. right? You're trying to control something that is out of your hand, like you cannot control it. Then it will cause you stress in the current situation, and it will cause you worry if you're thinking of a possible future outcome or something that had happened in the past. When you do so, you create unnecessary stress in your life. To deal with the stress and overcome chronic worries more effectively, it is essential you learn to sort out your worries basically. An effective way to do this is to separate the things you have control over from the things you have no control over. Okay, so for an example, you find out these are the things that is causing me stress or worry. Now try to find out what are the things that is under your control. Most of the things are not under your control, and that's the whole point. That's what author is also trying to convey over here. If that is not in your control, why you're affecting your mental environment and hence your external environment also, for the reason that is not even under your control in the first place, right? An effective way to do this is to separate things you have control over from the things you have no control over. You can divide your worries into three separate categories. One, things you have control over. Second, things you have some control over. And third, things you have no control over whatsoever. All right. Now, first thing first, things you have control over. So, for an example, there is something that can happen in the future, and you want to improve something that can happen in the future, and now you are working for it. So, that means the future event is somewhat under your control in your current deeds, right? So this category include things such as your actions and behaviors. For instance, you can choose what to say and how to say it. You can also decide what action you'll take to achieve your goals. Okay, so these are the things that you have control over. Now second one, things you have some control over. So there are things you have only limited control over, such as competition or a job interview. You can't absolutely certain you'll win a tennis match, but you do have some control over its outcome. For instance, you can choose to train harder or hire a great coach. Similarly, you can prepare for a job interview by conducting extensive research about the company you apply to, or by doing a mock interview. You don't, however, have absolutely control over the outcome of the interview. Now, one very relatable example that I want to share related to this current situation or this reason is, so tomorrow is 8th of March 2026, and if you follow cricket, it is India versus New Zealand final match, T20 World Cup final match tomorrow. Now Indian team, all the players, what they can do, they can work on themselves, they can practice to the best of their knowledge, but the outcome is not in their hand, right? So this will come under this category, things you have some control over. So they have control over their own practice, okay, and trying and testing each and every strategy beforehand as well. And then they cannot work, like they can try to execute it properly, but the result is still not under their control, right? So this will come under the category, things you have some control over. And I wish by the time I'll post this video, India has already won the World Cup. I wish this will be my statement in the future. Hopefully, defending champion. Okay, let's get back to the video. Let's get back to the topic itself. Hmm. Okay, now we'll talk about the third one, things you have no control over. Unfortunately, there are also many things you have no control over. These are the things such as the weather, the economy, or traffic jams. Exercise, sort out your worries. Now, look at your list. Add stress or list of stressful situation next to each item. Put C control, SM some control, or NC no control in this situations. Okay, individual situations basically. This simple act of sorting out your worries already helps reduce them. Okay, when you'll do this exercise, you'll realize this is helping you to reduce your worry in the first place. As you identify things you have no control over, you can let go of your urge to worry. Now, for things you have some control over, write down what you could do about it. What concrete action could you take to alleviate them? For example, again, coming back to Team India, let's say they are doing their best, they are practicing hard, they're working on their stance, like batsmen, they're working on their stance or like their timing, and bowlers are working on their perfect Yorkers and stuff. Fielders are working hard to catch properly and field properly and everything. So this is something you can do when you know the situation falls under the category where some control is in your hand. Okay. Now, for things you have no control over, can you let go of your need to control them and instead accept them? So, this is something that you have to learn, right? If something is not in your control, let it be. Okay. Now, taking 100% responsibility for your stress and worries. Now, this is very, very, very important, and you have to inculcate it in your day to day life, and you have to make it permanent part of your mental environment, and it will do wonders for you in the trading environment and in your life as well. What if you had more control over your worries than you believe? Look at the situation you have no control over and ask yourself, if I had no control over them, what would I do? What would it look like? And how could I prevent them from happening? Often you will realize you have some control over these situations. This can be by changing, reframing, or eliminating them from your life. Let's say you identified traffic jam as something you have no control over. This sounds reasonable. Once you are caught in the traffic jam, you can't do much about it. But could you do things differently? For instance, could you leave home earlier or take a different route? So this is like planning in advance so that you'll, get rid of the situation in the first place itself. Like you're getting out of the possible scenario in beforehand as well, right? You're planning it perfectly. What about reframing the situation? Instead of escaping the situation mentally, you could choose to be fully present by making traffic jam a productive part of your day. You could then make the most of it by listening to audiobooks. Imagine how much you could learn if you listen to audiobooks every working day or for an entire year. So small things, when they compound in a productive manner, it can do wonders. It can change the way your life currently looks like in completely different manner. It can change it like 180 degree in the time period of like 1 year. 1 year is more than enough. If you inculcate small productive habits in 1 year, it will create wonders for you. You'll not realize the power of compounding of right habits. You must have heard about compounding in financial way if you are a trader or like you're into investing and stuff. But if you're compounding the right habits, it can do wonders in your life. It can make you reach the places you can't even imagine yourself you'll ever be, right? So that's the power of it. So start inculcating it. Go over your list and look for things you have no control over. Write down what you could do to change, reframe, or eliminate these events. Okay. So on this positive note, I'm just leaving you all to think about it and take the action step. Now, this particular action step, it is based on the workbook. So let me know if you need the workbook. I'll post it in the comment. And talking about comment, in the comment section, one very interesting question is waiting for all of you. So make sure that you're answering it. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, universe. Thank you so much, Radha Ranji. We'll meet next time. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe. Peace out.